Well, part of the Together bloc's downfall comes from the significant gains made by the left-wing Nupes coalition. The alliance made up of France Unbowed, the Greens, the Socialists, and the Communists picked up 131 seats, a sharp rise compared to 5 years ago, but still less than they were hoping for. France 24's Cole Stangler is outside the Nupes headquarters in Paris. Cole, this left-wing coalition is now the main opposition force in this new parliament.
Yeah, that's right, Wasim. So it wasn't that sort of primary objective that they've fallen a little bit short of having actually a left-wing majority of their own, having Jean-Luc Mélenchon be prime minister. That was the goal. Privately, people acknowledged that was going to be very difficult. A lot of supporters were acknowledging that that was going to be very difficult from the very beginning. But they do find themselves now as having the single biggest opposition force in French Parliament, gives them the ability to potentially help shape the national agenda. They think that it gives them a chance to sort of impose their themes into the national debate. So things like the environment, things like tax justice, public services. And overall, they're pretty satisfied with that score, though, as you mentioned, sort of falling short of that ultimate objective. And, you know, if you look at the score, the left didn't significantly boost its share of the vote. It has more deputies, which is a success, but not a huge increase in the vote share. And one of the big issues was turnout was not as high as left-wing leaders had hoped. They didn't tap into that youth vote. Working class vote was also fairly low, so sort of not as successful in that respect. And one final point I think is worth mentioning. I was speaking with people at the Nupes electoral headquarters last night, is that there's a sense of frustration that in a lot of these races between the far right, the National Front, the National Rally, and the Nupes candidates, that you had sort of Macron supporters staying on the sidelines. There was one poll that showed 7 out of 10 Macron supporters did not vote when there was these matchups between the Left Alliance and the far right. So for a lot of left-wing supporters, it's another sign that this sort of Republican front, this tradition in France of rallying against the far right, is perhaps in its final stages. So that's sort of the downside. At the same time, Wasim, worth mentioning, the left does see itself now as the top opposition force in France, and sort of a mission accomplished in that respect, of course, falling short of that primary objective.
Cole Stangler there in central Paris outside the Nupes coalition headquarters. Cole, thank you very much.